Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key business and financial developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 6 May 2022. I'm Roshaanr and here are the top stories for this week. Sri Lanka's usable reserves are down to $50 million. Deal with creditors 6 months away, says CBSL. Indian support continue as World Bank funds relief for the poor. Inflation at all-time high as MRP on rice imposed. We will also briefly look at other notable news that made it across to our news desk and wrap up with the capital markets update. In our main story this week, Ali Sabri, Minister of Finance, speaking in Parliament on Wednesday, highlighted that Sri Lanka's liquid reserves are less than $50 million and that the citizens should know this is the worst economic crisis the country has ever faced. The minister noted that negotiations with the IMF are progressing well, but a deal may be 6 months away and that it may take up to 3 years to emerge from this crisis. He further stated that a new budget proposal increasing income taxes will be tabled in Parliament to improve tax revenue to 14% of GDP in 2 years from the current 8.6%. Financial and legal advisors to restructure sovereign debt are to be appointed in the next 2 weeks, and it was revealed that discussions are underway with several countries to obtain bridging finance. Nandalal Veerasinghe, Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, holding a press conference in Colombo, stated that Sri Lanka is expecting to complete a deal with the country's creditors in about 6 months. The governor opined that the agreement from all creditors is not necessary to access IMF funds and that once some progress is made, the IMF is willing to come to a staff-level agreement. Such ambitions are challenging as the IMF has stated that Sri Lanka's debt is currently unsustainable and requires monetary and fiscal policy adjustments for any funding facility. Moreover, despite the governor stating that Chinese debt would not be receiving preferential treatment on debt restructuring, China maintains that it is not in favor of debt restructuring as it will have to do the same to others. According to Kanchana Wijesekara, Minister of Power and Energy, India has extended its fuel credit line to Sri Lanka by $200 million, enabling the import of another 4 fuel shipments. He further added that a fresh $500 million credit line is also under discussion. The government is to provide a special cash allowance of between 5,000 to 7,500 rupees to 3.34 million low-income families from May to July. Such a measure is under the contingent emergency response component in projects funded by the World Bank Group. This initiative is slated to cost over 13 billion rupees. According to the SLTDA, 62,960 tourists arrived in the country in April, down by approximately 40% from a month earlier. April to June is considered off-season, with numbers increasing from July for the winter season travel. Meanwhile, the SLTDA noted that repercussions of Sri Lanka's ongoing economic crisis have started to spread and pose challenges to the industry and its supply chains, adding that import restrictions have caused disruptions in delivering products and services to tourists. Inflation in April, as measured by the Colombo Consumer Price Index, recorded its highest level ever of 29.8%, significantly up from 18.7% a month earlier. Free floating of the rupee, supply-side issues, and increasing global prices have resulted in all-time price highs. Food inflation increased 46.6% year-over-year in March, whilst prices of the non-food group grew 22%. Moreover, on Monday, a maximum retail price on several types of food and rice was imposed. As per the Tea Exporters Association of Sri Lanka, the country's tea production in March fell to 22 million kilograms, declining 24% year-on-year. Dry weather and the 7-month ban on chemical fertilizer impacted cultivation, whilst current dollar shortages are affecting fertilizer imports. Tea exports in March were about 23.2 million kilograms, down from 25.8 million kilograms a year earlier. During the first 3 months of the year, Iraq was the main buyer, purchasing about 12.7 metric tons. And now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the all-share price index and the S&P SL20 index at the Crown Stock Exchange. At the weekly Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all-term maturities fell slightly, with a 364-day tenor declining the most by 17 basis points from a week earlier to 23.92%. 189 million rupees worth of bids were received, of which 97.5 million rupees of bills were accepted. Here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Luminex Limited re-announced plans for its 250 million rupee initial public offer. 31 million to 250,000 shares at 8 rupees per share are on offer from the 12th of May, amounting to a 11.52% stake in the company. Luminex Limited is mainly involved in telecom infrastructure engineering. And that's a wrap for this week. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube for more updates on business and financial developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.